My name is Imok Cha. I've been living in the Bay Area for about 15 years. Because yesterday in Gangjong on JeJu Island, about 1,000 police with riot gear came in and arrested more than 35 people. And they were really violating democracy in South Korea, and they're arresting their own people to, quote unquote, for national security, to build a humongous Navy base. And I really question what the government is doing and why they are oppressing civilians who have been living peacefully in this very beautiful environment for 450 years. The village is 450 years old. And now they have totally divided the village people, have taken their farmland, and now they're gonna bulldoze over and build a Navy base. And that's supposed to house two Aegis destroyer. Aegis destroyer, each one costs more than $1 billion, and they talk to the satellite system, U.S. satellite system, and it's supposedly for to defend against China. So I question why Korea, this very beautiful island and very beautiful village, has to be sacrificed for so-called U.S. interests.
My name is McGregor Eddie, and I live in Salinas, California. And Sung Hee Choi, who is one of the activists in Gangjong village of JeJu Island, is a friend of mine. And she stood up for me and collected signatures for me when I was arrested at a missile launch at Vandenberg. So when she was arrested and put in prison on JeJu prison in Gangjong, I started writing her letters, and I started an online support group for her, which I started in May, and by July it had 2,000 people. So I was just blown away. And it was in 3 languages. It was amazing: Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and English, and French sometimes. And so out of that came a chance for me to go and see her, because she was on a hunger strike, she was in prison, she was isolated, she was the only one in prison that time. Everyone else had been released. She was all alone. So in June, for the Global Network, I went to Korea. I couldn't speak any Korean. There's a whole village that thinks I'm a quiet person. They're in for a surprise. And so I went to see her and to find out what was happening. And it was amazing. It was classic Gandhi-style nonviolent resistance. The first day I was there, June 9th, a big dredging boat came in to scrape up the soft coral reefs, which are in a marine preserve area, very rare soft coral. And 4 people, Mr. Go, Brother Song, the young Kim Dong-jong that's now in prison, went out in a little Kodiak rubber boat. And Brother Song climbed up on the ship and talked to the crew about what they were going to do, and they left. The ship turned around and left, using argument, reason, and persuasion. So the first thing I saw, all jet lagged, when I got to the beautiful beach, was Brother Song taking off his wetsuit and everyone cheering him. And they said, "Isn't it a beautiful beach?" And I went, "Yeah." But anyway, so that was my first day there. And we later found out that that boat cost something like $40,000 a day to lease, and it had been turned back. On the day I left, the 20th of June, the same thing happened. The bad boat came back, the big dredging boat, to destroy the soft coral reefs. That is an absolute UNESCO marine protected area. It's got an endangered species, the red-footed crab. Came back, and this time, when Brother Song and Mayor Kang, who's now in prison, climbed up to talk, just to talk, unarmed, to talk to the construction workers, they beat Brother Song senseless, and he was in the hospital, unconscious, and he was in the hospital for 4 days. No one has been charged with that. These were civilians. These were not soldiers. These were not police. These were civilian construction workers. So the reason they beat him is that his words and his reason were so powerful, they turned the ship away the last time. What's really amazing about this is that they have been doing this for 3 years. The reason the ship was sent was that they were unable to do it from the land because the people, including Sung Hee Choi and the film critic Yang Yoon Hoon Yu, would lay down in front of the machines in the trucks. And this has been going on for 3 years. So now the government has issued a court order, despite the fact that JeJu Island is supposed to be an independent province, and the legislative body has voted 95% no to the base. No election has ever been held in the village. The only election that was held was by clapping with the Navy present, where the people, they could see what they were doing. So it was not a ballot election. And the people of the village since removed that village head and put Mayor Kang in. Mayor Kang, who is the elected representative of the village, is now in prison because he went down to talk to them, it's the Samsung construction company, about the crane they wanted to use that's 250 tons. The local roads can't carry more than 50 tons. So he was trying to do his civic duty and say that they could not use that crane in his village. And they arrested him. The people in the village were so upset that on August 24th they completely surrounded the car and wouldn't let them take their beloved mayor away. And two very gentle people, both of whom I knew there, one a very shy young photographer and the other a very quiet man who cooked for everybody, were both arrested. We call them the two Kims because they both have the last name of Kim. Dongwon Kim and Uncle Jong Kim. So those 3 people are in prison. 33 more were arrested last night, with 1,000 riot troops wearing armor, body armor, for non-violent protesters. Now, I think as an American, we have to remember that in April 3rd of 1948, under U.S. occupation, the democratic wishes of the Jeju Islanders were disregarded. Then they were rounded up, and then violence came down on them. Now, I'm not saying that what's happening now is anything like the 30,000 to 60,000 people that were killed in what they call the April 3rd incident. But it is as an apology for that Korea has made Jeju Island the island of peace, and it should stay the island of peace. And we, the United States, have a very terrible debt to the Korean people, especially the people of Jeju Island, for our role in their sufferings in the incident that they call April 3rd. It really went on for 7 years. So I think that this is classic nonviolent resistance. It is supporting the environment, supporting local agriculture, elected leaders, the one in present. It's amazing when they say it's outside agitators. They've got the elected mayor in prison. What kind of an outside agitator is the elected mayor? Secondly, it's a national base. It's for all of Korea. It was so cute. The governor of the island made some remark about outsiders are interfering, and this guy from Seoul stood in the airport with a sign that said "Save Jeju Island," and then he put underneath it, he said, "I am one of the 50 million outsiders that is interfering." 50 million being the population of South Korea, meaning, of course, it's our business. Of course, it's our business. So I'm here to support my Korean friends, and I'm concerned about my Korean friends. I came 110 miles this morning to be here because I can't be standing by them in Gangjeong, and I'm very worried about them. It's night there. Yesterday was a terrible day. Tonight it will be September 3rd when the peace activists from Seoul are coming in. So I recommend everybody go to www.savejejuisland.org. Awesome website. SaveJejuIsland.org, or No Bases Korea, which is Sung Hee's website, and Peace, Save the Peace Island. And we just realized, many Koreans have told me that Korean couples go to Jeju Island for their honeymoons, and as an aging person from the early 70s, late 60s, this is actually a case of make love, not war. So honeymoons, not ageist destroyers.
I went to visit Gangjeong a month ago. Well, I never saw such a thing in my life. The area is very beautiful, beautiful rocks, and very beautiful pristine water. And there is this area where the Navy has fenced off, and the fence is about 3 meters tall, and we were staying at this pension right across from the fence. So in the morning when we get up, we don't see the sea view, rather we see this huge fence going all the way around. And inside there are this resistance camp where people have been protesting for 4 years. Can you believe it? And I have not heard about it until very recently, which made me question why there is no news about this ongoing struggle against the Navy. So that's how I got involved, and I found out more and more, and I really, one day, I just had to pack my bag and go and see with my own eyes, because I couldn't find any information on the news, which was very frustrating and made me question. So I went and visited, and there were these people just camping out, trying to protect their land, and for 24 hours they were protecting the roads into their farmland. And just outside, across the street, there were police cars, and they were also stationed there 24 hours. So it was just amazing. It was a real struggle, resistance movement, grassroots, and I was very, very moved. I've never seen such a thing. And I was afraid that the police will come in one day to try to wipe them out, and surely they did. Yesterday, 5 a.m., 20 riot buses came, busload of police in riot gear, full riot gear, as if they are going to war. And 1,000 of them got out of the bus and arrested most of the activists. And I heard the word that they were trying to prevent a very big peace rally that's supposed to happen the next day. First of all, Korea is supposed to be a democracy, and we have fought for democracy for many years. Many people have sacrificed their lives to earn this freedom, and now it seems like it's going the other way, unfortunately. So I want the Korean government to realize what they're doing to their people and really review why we need the base from the beginning. So that's why here to let people know what a lot of military analysts say. Number one, they are planning to station 2 Aegis destroyer, and each one of them, I said, costs more than $1 billion. And the Aegis ship is capable with talking with U.S. satellite system for military defense, missile defense system, long-range missile defense system, and they have 2 already in Okinawa, and they're going to station this in JeJu. So you have to put the 2 and 2 together. This is obviously being to accommodate U.S. missile defense system that's gearing toward the China as a target. I mean, Korea has been living fine, and we have a Navy base in Busan, not very far away, and they've been protecting our waters all this time. So I don't see what the big change is, why we need another $970 million base to be built right now. Say, we have been living under fear of another war. I grew up in Seoul. We were constantly under fear of another attack. So people are very conscientious, and we want to protect our land and our freedom. But I don't think this is the way to protect our land and freedom. And especially if you go to JeJu and Gangjang, this is like the most pristine, beautiful village, and there is no heavy industry on JeJu Island. So it's very, very clear, and it's designated as UNESCO Nature Heritage Site, and it's just a wonderful island. And to destroy that for something that we might not even need is really questionable. 저는 여기 베이에리어에서 오래 살아왔는데요. 최근에 제 친구를 통해서 오키나와에서 미군 해군이 이제 제주도로 간다는 얘기를 들었어요. 1월 달에. 그래서 거기에 대해서 알고 싶어서 암만 뉴스를 들어봐도 한국 뉴스에 하나도 나오는 게 없어서 한참 고민하다가 지난주에 강정을 방문하게 됐는데 가서 보니까 일이 굉장히 심각해요. 거기가 이렇게 아름다운 곳인데 우리 해군이 들어온다면서 마을 주민들을 거의 찬반으로 갈려져 있고 4년 동안 마을 주민들이 모여서 이거를 반대를 하고 있다는 거를 알게 됐어요. 그래서 제가 할 수 있는 일은 다 하려고 그때부터 계속 미디어하고 신문하고 친구들하고 계속 이메일 하면서 좀 도와달라, 이 소식을 좀 전해달라. 그리고 그렇게 아름다운 환경을 보존해서 그 환경이 사실은 더 가치가 있는 거지, 저는 네이비가 가치가 있다고 생각되지 않습니다.